Top morning, ladies. My name is Chaz, and welcome to the What If Dekku Was a Overpowered Guard or Assassin? Sorry. Yeah. So, and yes, it will be like going, or he will be the going into like insanity, but it will get better. Like it will be better, and then they got worse, and then it will become better. So it's basically like good, bad, good. Yeah. So, yeah. So let's begin with. Let me find the stupid picture of a Zoomy and. Where in heck is it? So, yeah. There it is. So, Zuko and Zumi were. I'm also adding Zoomin to this what if so. Yeah. To keep, like, kind of like a. Basically a similarities of the canon version. But the. Yeah. Yeah. So. Sorry. So let's begin. Zuko and Zumi were born. Then at age 3, the Ochaku comes. And she loves him. She has a huge crush on him. And yeah, she did not care if he was like, because she knows that he wants to be a hero, just like how she wants to be. But then things took a dark turn. Nothing, or when I say that, it's nothing about Ochako. Don't worry. She didn't like get hit by a car, kind. More like the Zuko and Zumi went to the quirk doctor. So the quirk doctor tells Zumi that she has a quirk. And she can become a pro hero if she wants to. So then but when he looked over at Zuko, he tells him that he doesn't have a quirk. And that made Zuko cry. Like, you know that one scene where people, or where he's like frozen, kind? Yeah. Well, after they left the quirk doctor, Zuko was abandoned by his own parents. But during that same time, the abandon Zuko. In this alternate timeline, Inko has the power, or she has two quirks. One of like bringing stuff to her, and one that takes memories away. Sorry. Takes memories away. Yeah. So, yeah. So she ends up taking Zuko's memories away. But she didn't know. No one knew that Zuko was built different from the rest. Or he was born different from the rest of the modern society thing. He actually did have a quirk, but he also had powers of infinity and zero and the bloodlust. So, in order to or him to use his full power, so basically his mother ends up taking his memories away, of course. But after that, through days after days, Zuko's madness kicked in. It's like how Toga is falling into like despair thing, like how she, like when she took off her mask thing and she reveals like what her true nature thing is. Yeah, basically like that. And as he goes to like every villain's place and he starts massacring, like basically killing all of those villains. Because bloodlust allows him to basically, once it's activated, it cannot be stopped. So he slaughtered every villain from the entire world. Yeah, he slaughtered them all. Crime rate went down to 0. Everybody's like, all the pro heroes are like confused of what the heck's going on. And this kid is at age of 5 when he did that. He's slaughtering all those poor villains. And all of their blood, all the villains' blood went into him. To keep him going. I mean, and yeah, to activate his, yeah. So All for One's like, what's going on with my villains? Helens. Has anyone showed up? Well, as the eraser, or not Eraserhead, the Kirigiri looks at All for One and tells him that there's something going on. That someone's killing all the villains. If that's true, find who's doing this and eliminate them. As the pro heroes are like, okay, we need to have this emergency meeting right now because the villains are disappearing left and right, or bodies are building up. Yeah. He basically, whoever's doing this, as the detective says, whoever's doing this must be brought to justice. As the killing spree of the villains hasn't risen once since Zuko's is, yeah. And they call him the assassin, and yeah, or dark assassin, because how powerful he really is. He even uses his own version of invisibility, and they call him Quiet Killer. Yeah. He uses his own powers, and his quirk was actually him. His quirk is called Flame of Truth. So, the Flame of Truth told, or so the quirk told him from every voice in his head says that as he shows up to the quirk doctor, the real one, the one that's in the basement, he says, "Hey there, quirk doctor. Long time no see." As the quirk doctor's frozen, as he not literally, he turns around, he sees the monster. As he doesn't see Zuko, he sees a monster. Like a Nomu. Basically, like, it has a dragon's head and muscular body and dragon toes or feet. And yeah, he went all psychotic on, as All for One was listening to Zuko's, or to their conversation. Is it true? As he says, was it true that you lied to me about not having a quirk? Yes. But I didn't expect to go on a psychic rampage. But your body is different. Or you were built different, Zuko. You have the powers, not just a quirk. You have a powers of infinity and zero, and the power that you or is corrupting you is bloodlust. It allows you to be in this state. But in exchange, you have to constantly kill everybody. All the villains. All their blood is inside you. Who is keeping you going. Yes, it feels great to kill every single one of you. I know it was you and the All for One. Or I know it was you that is working with All for One. Hun. So, any last words? As a blade comes out of Zuko's hand. As he comes in as All for One and teleports Ernst to where the Quark Doctor's at to stop the blade from hitting or taking the Quark Doctor's life. As Zuko jumps backwards. You must be All for One. Nice to see you. Nice to meet you. You actually was on my list of people to kill. Oh. So at this point, Zuko is too far gone. He went all psychotic. And it. So then the All for One tells Zuko that I know that you're the one that murdered all those villains. Yeah. As both of because there's actually All for One could hear her, or no, actually the Quark Doctor could hear her, Zuko's kind self, like a child self, and his or he could hear the good version and the bad version. Yeah, at the same time. Or as the Quark Doctor knows how to save him from. He just needs to remove the bloodlust power from Zuko's body. But in order to do that, he needs to put Zuko on a table and knock him out. And yeah. Because in this alternate timeline, Quark Doctor doesn't have just one quirk. He has 3. More than Zook or Zumi or Inko. The mortal quirk, and takes away certain abilities quirk. And the the regeneration quirk. Or reborn quirk. So, yeah. So Zuko, whom he needs to restrain him to, who remove that bloodlust quirk her from his body. Honey. And Zuko, whom during all that stuff, so like during all of it, so now, yeah. So basically, Zuko, who at this point is actually at 15. Time skip to 15 before. Yeah. So, yeah, Zuko's mental state was too great. So then that's what happened. So basically, All for One and the Quark Doctor versus Zuko. So the remaining villains that are still alive, like Toga, Shiraki-sen, Kirigiri, Spitter, and Magnus, and the Mustard, are still alive. So, yeah. Because Zuko slaughtered every other villain. As Toga, here. How long has this video been? Okay. So, yeah. Just ignore that. So when Toga could, as she looks at her boss, like the All for One, and asks him, what's going on here? Or All for One. Well, you probably, as All for One tells them all that the Quark Doctor tells them that this guy is the one that was killing all those villains. The ones that you saw or you heard of, like them dying left and right. Yeah. And she's wondering that too. This kid is the only one that, as she's confused of why, and she could sense good heart behind the evil power, as the Quark Doctor whispers in her ear about his power is different from yours. Hers, Toga. Or almost same, but the difference is that yours could transform into anyone, but his is makes him more like super powerful, crazy. But we need to restrain him down. As the Magnus, or I think that's her. Not manga. Magnus girl from My Hero Academia. So, yeah, this one, she ends up, or I think, yeah. So this one ends up, oh, I see. See what's going on. As the Magnus could piece together of what's going on. As we need to, as a table, or as the patient's table thing got lifted up. And ends up nailed Zuko to there. As everybody's trying to restrain him down because his pain in the bloodlust is too great for his own body to handle. We need to remove him. So he ends up removing, or so the Quark Doctor uses his own version of Quark Steel, but it was Ability Steel. Because Magnus, in this alternate timeline, was super nice to everyone. And she could sense pain from the body. Sorry. Oh. She could sense pain that the one person's going through. As she says, calm down. And yeah. Theme as a all for one is like, I think, because he actually has a quirk inside of him that the could see positive and negative of a person. So yeah. So they try to restrain him. But All for One says, you'll be okay, Zuko. As the Quark Doctor removes the bloodlust, hatred. Yeah. As he gets up, all like normal, as he could sense and power. But in exchange for them taking his bloodlust away, you know what they gave him? A quirk that is so useful. A quirk of I'll just say fusion. A fusion quirk. You could do a lot with it. It's not the one that's like from the where Dekku was born with a fusion quirk. No. This fusion quirk not just fuse other quirks. It can fuse people, objects, and no matter what size it was. He could take two Empire State Buildings, fuse them together to create a skyscraper. Basically a tallest one. And he could fuse people with two different genders into a same one. So Zuko, what's up? As the Quark Doctor says, I see. His memories were taken from him. Dang, Inko. Or actually, he says his. Dang, his. So after they left, Zuko, or no, actually, the Quark Doctor tells them that how did all this happen? And as Toga wants to know, or the rest of them, well, see, Zuko wasn't like what you saw him as a bloodthirsty guy. Actually, instead, he was a kind sweetheart. That he was saved. He wanted to be heroes. But then tragedy of my own stupidity. What do you mean by that? He means, as All for One says, he means that he was trying to make a joke thing, but it got out of hand. And he ended up, that stupidity killed every villain. Except for you guys. And, yeah. That's why. And I forgot that I think, I'm trying to remember. Was W with offer? Yeah. No. Yeah, no. Actually, Dobby actually got killed. Zuko, so, yeah. I'm trying to remember, but I'm probably looking back at this video and be like, oh yeah, I know that. So yeah. So yeah, so then the Zuko was trained looking a lot more calm as he sits down. And actually, no one knew who he or his actual name was. And his hair did turn white before when he was consumed by bloodlust. His hair color did change to white. And that's what everybody thought he was. But then his hair changed back to normal colors. Green, with green eyes. Compared to red eyes. So, yeah. So he sits down at a park, looking at the water. Or at the fountain. As he and yes. And it's a wavy motion, so yeah. So Zuko ends up, says this is peace and calm. I like it. So then so everyone was stayed indoors for the longest time. They could not even get out of there. As Zuko was sitting down, as everyone's from their window sees this young man just sitting and staring right at the water on her, as they are confused of that kid will be killed by a bloodlust or by that silent killer. Is he still alive? So then, and because over years of him having killed everybody, all the villains, it was enough to he got his bloodlust power actually turned into an alternate version of him. By fusing all of the blood from the villains that he killed and their quirks fused into his body. And yeah. So there was calm Zuko and a bloodlust Zuko. Yeah. Or bloodlust. Or silent killer, because he remembers that. So, yeah. So he walks over to so Zuko sits down. Or he gets up before and he walks over to he waters the plants as everyone is watching him. How is he so calm? There's a psychic murderer or psycho murderer out on the loose. Why is he so calm? Is he one? As Asashi came out because he's a pro hero, and he looks at him, and he knows who he is. Zuko, is that you? As he's completely ignoring him. the So he opens his, as they're like, man, I'm it's like it's like everybody's trying to figure out who he is. As Sashi's like, he's my son. And Zuko is his name. But why is he out there? He's quirkless, and as before he was like, he turned him around. And yeah, he as they're like, he looks so dead inside. So then may I help you? As he spoke in his normal tone. So he turns back around. He takes good care of the park. Huh? He kept it sustained for a long, long time. So, yeah. He made some fresh gardening things, and yeah. So they heard that there's a psycho murderer is back. And Zuko who's like, that's new. You must be Asashi. As he was talking to actual Asashi right next to Zuko. I'm here to kill ya. For taking the memories of the son that you are. Or I'll kill you and Inko. As he runs right at Asashi with enough force, they thought he was gonna get pierced. But then a hand from him came out. As he grabs him, Asashi turns him, or he grabs the monster. What? Bam! Some people don't like blood on these plants. You know that. As the bloodlust version of himself is telling him to be quiet, but he says it in a rude way. As he picks him up, and he kick him in the side. Because he knows that as Isashi was like, you know this creep? As Isashi, or as the bloodlust Zuko says, yes, he knows me. I'm his power. I'm him. I'm the one that killed all those villains in the first place. Not him. I just used his body to my advantage of me killing all those villains to absorb their blood into my own body, or to create a body like mine. He was born with the power of bloodlust. Now it's time for me to kill you, Asashi. As he jumps, or as he runs full sprint, as Zuko comes in and grabs him by the face and slams him down onto the pavement away from the Hearn. As the no fighting. As Asashi, when everyone heard here. When everyone heard that the bloodlust and Zuko are one and the same, him, because they thought it was gonna be like him, as he makes a cage, unbreakable cage. So, as Asashi says, is that true, Zuko? That you and him were one. Name as as Bloodlust answers him for him. Yeah, he and I are the same person. He was born with a quirk, and 3 powers. Guess which 3? Power of infinity, power of zero, and me. As everyone is still in shock. They could not believe. Ochako could not believe that his or her friend is the most powerfulest person in the entire universe. Even Bakugo is shocked. Zumi was shocked. Inko was shocked. Asashi was shocked. Because they could not... Everyone was like, what? Yeah. And I could tell you what his quirk is. It's flames of truth. If you tell a lie, his quirk activates and it burns you from the insides out. As everybody was like, holy crud, everyone could not believe that this kid is on a whole nother level. With overpowered abilities like that is like as the Musashi still asks him, is that all true? Yes, it is. The the yeah, all single word of him is spoken truth. Oh boy. So and then so Inko and Zumi could tell that he's not lying. And as they looked at him with as so the Zuko whom so then everybody's like, okay. So you're saying that what happened? I'll tell you what happened to what really happened. Why I'm standing here now. Because on one of my personal mission for her achieving most powerfulest one, or to create a new body for myself. Ooh. To create new body for myself, I need to kill an older quirk doctor. But the villains took me away. Or should I say, yanked me out of his body, honey. And you know who really started it? Was a quirk doctor. Pulls that stupid trick on Inko and you. So then, yeah. So he's not wrong. Or he's not lying. It's actually truth. It was a sick humor that, wow. So, but, of course, then the evil version says, or Bloodlust says, that, man, it's the same quirk doctor that rips me out of his body, honey, and replaced me with a quirk. It's a fusion quirk. The best around. So, yeah. So then they end up locking the evil bloodlust Zuko away, as they could not believe. As Inko shows up to the good version and hugs him, and she was crying because how sad he is, or how sad she was, that she was so blinded by because she thought he was quirkless, but ends up having a quirk, and yeah. And so, what did she do? She gave him back his memories, of course. And, yeah. He goes to UA. And of course, Ochako, no. No. Ends up after all that time, she remembers who Zuko is, her beloved, and Zuko, and she fell in love with him. And she, like, cared about him more and more. And she even dated him. Yeah. After she dated him, like, through... Yeah. Then they got married. And, yeah. So, yeah. And overhaul fight was already over before. Or actually, overhaul... not overhaul. All for One versus All Might thing was that the... hasn't even happened. Or it didn't happen because when Blood... or Silent Killer... or Bloodlust escaped. He killed the Quark Doctor. He killed the All for One. And he killed every or remaining, like, villains except for Toga. So, yeah. So then the whole... So Toga and him... Actually, Toga actually fell in love with Bloodlust. And she... Because she was with him, or almost the same cell, but one right next to it, tells Bloodlust that she would rather date him. As Bloodlust says, I would rather her date you too. So then, after they... Yeah, so he ends up going free. So does Toga. And they both got dating. And because Bloodlust actually cooled down after whole truth came out. Thing. So, yeah. And their kids. So they go to a Quark Doctor and see what or a new Quark Doctor. And if, yeah, the Quark Doctor tells, the first group was Zuko and Ochako with their kids. And yeah, the Quark Doctor says they have quirks. As he explains what their quirks are, and then, yeah. And some of them even have a combined of their father's, his quirks. Like 2 quirks and yeah. And, yeah. So, let's see how much time did I spend. Yep, perfect time. Peace out, y'all.